Hello, and welcome to the Performer's Guide. My name is Kristen Railing, and today we will be discussing pricing yourself like a pro. So, oftentimes when somebody starts a business or becomes a performer, they are oftentimes coming into it blind when it comes to financial understanding of how to run and operate a business. So this entire section is a way to get the background understanding that you need in order to price yourself professionally in a way that pays your bills, respects your time, respects your offerings, and respects your clients as well. So oftentimes when somebody starts a business, they have not had any formal financial education. This would include learning about income expense reports, how to operate credit lines, how to have financial investments. They are unaware of the ways to make payments to their clients or ways to take in payments from their clients. And most people that I work with don't even have an income expense report or a balance sheet. So this whole section is going to teach you how to not only financially analyze yourself, but price yourself and then utilize the payments that you're taking in to operate your business in a healthy financial manner, okay? And how do we start doing that? So first, we would want to go through our money story and understanding how we feel about money and our belief systems around taking and receiving and spending money. Then the next we will want to overcome is our scarcity mentality and working on having an abundance mentality. Then we'll want to understand the difference between spending costs and investments. Oftentimes these two are confused by each other, and people might think they're making an investment when they're spending money or thinking that something is a waste of money when it's actually an investment towards the future. And so we're going to want to understand what the differences between those are. Next, you will want to learn about your financial freedom number. This is very important if you want to price yourself by the day in a correct way where you're actually making the amount of money that you need. And once you understand your financial freedom number and the number that you want to be making, then you can do an analysis that I call getting real with your finances, which is understanding your revenue, your expenses, your assets, and your liabilities. And when you can have an understanding of what all of these are, then you know how far away you are from your financial freedom number, and that can also help you learn to price yourself by the day, okay? I do realize there was a few spelling errors on that, and I do apologize. Great, so the first section of pricing yourself like a pro is your money story. Oftentimes, your perception of money is actually formulated by the way that your parents operated their financials and how they spent money, made money, took in money, the way they talked about money. All of these affect your money story and the way that you perceive money. And so if you can backtrack to where your understanding of money came from, then you can start working on the future story of your money story, which is how you want to spend, take in, receive, and value money now as an adult. And so if you can understand your belief as a child and what you want, then you can start to reformulate the way that you feel about money into a more successful monetary mindset. So new mindset equals new results. So if you are in a financial situation where you're not making enough money, you don't have enough money, you need more money, the first step is to change your mindset about money, okay? And how do we do that? You're gonna wanna change the way that you think about money by understanding the cycles that you go through when dealing with money. And there's two different types of cycles that you can go through as somebody who's interacting with money, right? And so if you're operating in a cycle of scarcity, you are going to think of yourself as separate from the community. They have money, I do not. They have more, I have less. And if you operate in that mentality, then you're going to stay in a victim mindset. I have no money, I don't have a way to make money, other people have more money than me. This is just how my lot is in life. There's no changing this. And so you become a victim of your financial situation. So if you're a victim of your financial situation and you're operating in a scarcity mentality, you are often going to make bad financial decisions based out of fear instead of abundance. And this is when you would start making impulse purchases, or even potentially the opposite of withholding purchases that might actually be of great value to you because you're afraid that no more money will be coming in, correct? And I think that this is a mentality that a lot of people are dealing with right now, especially. We're all on quarantine. We don't know when our money is coming back in. The way that money has come in has changed. And so I'm actively seeing people suffering from scarcity mentality. And so the next step of scarcity mentality is selfishness. So you think of yourself as separate than somebody else. They have more than you. You're in a victim mentality. And so therefore you are going to act in selfishness and greed because you feel that if you give more than you have, then you will be in a further state of scarcity. And so what does that actually lead to? Scarcity. Acting in a scarcity mentality leads to more scarcity. If you're withholding your resources from other people, they're going to withhold their resources from you as well. And so if you can instead shift your mindset to an abundance mindset, then more money will actually flow in more easily, steadily, and readily, okay? So how do you change from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset? The first step is to understand that you are not separate from everyone else. You are a part of the same community that operates together and is pulling from the same pool of funds, right? If there's money available for me, that means there's money available for you. If there's money available for my competitor, there's money available for me, okay? So step one is understanding that we are all in this together and we're all pulling from the same resources, okay? Then the second is to change your perception from victim to that of stewardship. So helping other people out, being the source of need that you need, right? And so if you're like, oh, I need this, try to provide that for other people, and then that will actually return back to you, okay? So if you're operating in a mentality where you understand that you're in the same boat as everyone else, pulling from the same resources, and you're operating in stewardship with these people, then you're gonna make better financial decisions because you understand that your financial decisions could affect other people and do affect other people, okay? So if you're acting in generosity, understanding that we're pulling from the same resources, and then if I give you something, you will in turn give me something, and that it might not necessarily be a monetary exchange, but understanding that it's an energetic exchange. And as long as you can continue an energetic exchange that works for both parties, you can operate in a state of abundance even when financial monetary compensation is lacking, okay? So all of these actions lead to abundance. Understanding we're in the same boat, acting in stewardship, acting in generosity. This leads to more abundance. When people see you giving, they want to give back. When they see you taking, they don't want to give to you, okay? So if you want to operate your business in a state of financial abundance, you have to operate in that way to create a prosperous, meaningful, and productive life, okay? So you just have to constantly remember, I attract abundance with my thoughts. If you're feeling scarcity mentality, if you're feeling like you're lacking, it's easy to attract more scarcity with negative mindset. And it's difficult at first to remain positive even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But that's where the abundance mindset comes from, is knowing that every resource you need is available to you if you are able to ask for it properly. And this can come through grants, funding, donations, getting more clients. There's lots of different ways that you can attract abundance without specifically asking for a specific amount of money from one direct person. But understanding that abundance comes from a wide range of places. And the more that you can understand that, the more you can be open and willing to receive and recognize when those are available to you, okay? So the next step is, after you've got a more abundant mindset and you are ready to have a more abundant business, the next step is to understand what the difference between a cost and an investment is. And oftentimes I think that people get these confused, and this can often lead to detriment in your business if you're spending money on costs that you think are investments, or withholding investments thinking they're costs, okay? So viewing everything as a cost is a scarcity mentality. So for example, many people treat this business coaching program as a cost. It's not. It's an investment. This is an investment into your future, and it is something that if you can utilize the information given, you can turn it over and create more compensation than you would have gotten from the initial cost, okay? So what's the difference between a cost and an investment? A lot of it has to do with your beliefs and the return, okay? So in a cost, you believe that it is a resource that you are expending that will have no return to you, either financial, emotional, social. There's no benefit other than perhaps my enjoyment for a little bit of time. However, if you can instead think of purchases as investments and understanding that X amount can turn into Y later, then you can really start to work with the amount of money that you have and realize that though you may have X in the bank right now, that if you play with it well enough, that can exponentially increase the amount of money that you have available to you. So we're going to go over this in greater detail, costs versus investments. Then next, after we have worked on our mindset and our financial mindset and how we feel about money, how we interact with money, then we're going to want to start analyzing our actual finances, which is it's a worksheet called your financial freedom number, and is something that I believe is often overlooked when people are pricing themselves. Most of the time when people think of their price sheet, they just think of their income and expense report. How much am I taking in? How much am I spending? What are my bills? I have to cover those. But there's actually a lot of more levels of financial success that could be thought about that are often forgotten about. And so most of the time, what people are aiming for is financial security. That's the bare minimum. I'm able to pay my bills and I'm able to take in the amount of money that I need to pay my bills. But there's actually 4 other levels of financial independence that could be achieved that almost no performer even considers, which is financial vitality, financial independence, financial freedom, and absolute financial freedom. And oftentimes performers don't even get to the financial security state, which is level 1. They're constantly fighting to become financially secure. So this program is designed to help you become not just financially secure, but financially free. And we will discuss in greater detail what each of these stages of financial numbers are and how to achieve your financial freedom number. Then, once we get your financial freedom number and we understand what it is that you need to make, you're going to want to add expenses on top of your day rate, which includes travel expenses, taxes, and other important expenses that are often overlooked. So once we have our pricing sorted out and we know what our day rate is, we've added our taxes and we've added our travel expenses and all of our expenses on top of it, then we can start playing with pricing strategies, which is a really fun topic for me. And honestly, I think this whole topic is very thought about backwards, and I'm really excited to really dig in deep on pricing strategies for performers, because there's over 15 different ways that you can price yourself. But a lot of times what I'm hearing the most is people calling for pricing at a premium, that you should charge your highest rate to every client, and that's not necessarily financially viable for either your client or you. And so it's important to understand where your clients are at financially, what commitments they're willing to give, and how you can convince them to give you more money than they maybe necessarily would have. And so all of this is achieved through pricing strategies. So that's the breakdown of pricing yourself like a professional. Each day we will be going over a more specified topic and hoping to achieve your goals of financial freedom. Thank you so much for joining me in the Performer's Guide. My name is Kristen Railing. Please like and subscribe this video. Have a wonderful day.